this is Sarah, and today's video I'm going to show you how to make these fun pumpkin hats. Now this is the dark orange one. A lot of people think it looks like Elmo, but it's just a silly pumpkin hat. And the way we're going to do it today is I'm going to show you how to make the hat itself in a part 1 video, and then in part 2 I'm going to show you how to make the smile and the nose and the eyes of both of these style pumpkins, because these can really be used on any hat at all. And if you don't want to use this particular hat pattern, you can use the eyes and the nose and the mouth on any pumpkin hat. So in part 1 we're going to be doing just the pumpkin hat. Little fuzzball on there. There we go. Okay, we're just going to be doing the pumpkin hat. We're showing you how to do the front post stitches, the trim, and the stem and the curl. So it is a fun little pumpkin hat. And it is a chunky number 5 yarn. And today we're going to be using this soft number 5, and we're going to be using this muted green just for a different look. And this hat pattern comes in 2 sizes, and you can get that pattern over on my blog. There's like a youth size that's about 18 inches, and then there's also a 20-inch, depending on your head. Now remember, when working with hats, you want your hat to fit a little bit tight, or it's going to fall off your head, unless you like it loose. Okay, and then we're also going to be using our J-hook today, because we're working with a chunky number 5. You're going to need a needle to work with, weave in your ends, sewing on the top, and then you'll need a pair of scissors for cutting. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get this party started. Alright, so to begin with, we need to make a chain of 6. So we're going to make our slip knot and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to join this in a circle. So we're going to take that tail, put it through that loop, and snug that down. And we're going to start by stitching in this circle. Now, something that I do is I turn it this way, and as I'm stitching my stitches, I stitch over this tail. All right, so we're going to put our hook through and chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to stitch 11 more double crochets, because our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. So this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a little yarn barf going on over here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we're going to join this to our top of our chain 3 that counted as our first double crochet with a slip stitch. And then we're going to chain 3. Now what I was showing you at the beginning, we stitched our stitches over that tail, and we have a little hole. So all we have to do is gently pull on that tail, and it closes up that little hole. And we can use our needle and weave that in later, but I just wanted you to see the reason that I stitched those stitches over that tail. Alright, for row 3, we have our chain 3. It counts as our first double crochet. And now we're going to stitch on that same stitch a front post double crochet. And these are your posts down here, and the way we do that is we yarn over, and instead of going in the top of the stitch, we're going to go around the post. The post is right here. I've got my fingers on it. I've yarned over, I'm going to go around and do a double crochet, and then we're going to go and do a double crochet right in that next stitch. And the way row 2 works is we've got 12 double crochets in our first stitch, our first row. Our second row is going to have 24 stitches, 12 front posts and 12 double crochets. And so what we're doing is we're double crocheting in the next stitch, and then we're also front post double crocheting. And so now I'm going to go in the next stitch and double crochet, and then I'm going to go in that same stitch and front post double crochet. And just so in case you don't understand, when you do a front post, this is the post section of the stitch. A front post, you're posting on the front side. If you're doing a back post, you're stitching on the back side. And all the stitches on this, we're going to be going around, and so they're all going to be on our front post. So, 1 double crochet at the top of the next stitch. Pull out some more of that yarn barf. And then 1 front post double crochet in that same stitch. And like I said, we're stitching on 12 double crochets around, and this is going to give us a total of 24 stitches. 12 double crochets and 12 front post double crochets. And you're going to continue this all the way around for row 2. Alrighty, we have stitched our second row. We did a double crochet front post, double crochet front post, double crochet front post all the way around. So we started with 12 and now we have 24. Now row 3 is a little bit tricky, so we're going to take it nice and slow. You're going to chain 3 counts as your first double crochet, and then we're going to front post around the next 2 double crochets, and then we're going to place a double crochet in between. So we're going to go around this post of the next stitch and make a front post double crochet, and then we're going to do that again around that one that's already a front post double crochet. That will give us 2 front post double crochets, and then we're going to double crochet in the space, and that means we're going to go in between the front post stitch and the next stitch of the previous row, and do just a plain double crochet. And so this is the way it's going to look. Our chain 3 counted as our first double crochet, then you'll have 2 front post double crochets, and then a regular double crochet in between. And we'll do that again. You're going to go around the next stitch, front post double crochet, then in the next stitch, front post double crochet, and then we're going to stitch a double crochet in between, just going in that space, and stitch a regular double crochet. And we're going to do this all the way around the hat. And you will notice that your hat's going to look a little bit flat at this point because we're doing a lot of increases right now. So we did 2 front posts and a regular double crochet. I'll do it again and show you. We're going in around the front post to make a front post double crochet. Then we go around the next one, make a front post double crochet, and then we're going to stitch a regular double crochet right through that space. Oh, I got a little knot there. Oh well, we'll just make sure that's in the back. Alrighty, front post double crochet, front post double crochet, and then a double crochet right in that space. My yarn was a little splitty there. There we go. And we're going to continue this all the way around, and you'll have 2 front posts and a double crochet, 2 front posts and a double crochet, 2 front posts and a double crochet all the way around till we get back around here to join at the top of our chain 3. So we've joined to the top of our chain 3 and we're going to chain 3 again. So for round 4, we've got a chain 3, counts as our first double crochet. We're going to front post in the next front post. We're going to front post in the next front post. Then we're going to front post on that next double crochet. And then we're going to add a double crochet right in that space between that stitch and the next one. And so it will look like this. Double crochet, chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And then we'll have 3 front posts, and then we'll have a double crochet. All right, so let's do that again. We're going to front post stitch in the next stitch, front post stitch in the next stitch, and then we're going to front post stitch in that next stitch, which is a regular double crochet, and that will give us 3 front post stitches. Then we're going to double crochet in that space between this stitch and the next stitch with a regular double crochet, and then we'll repeat that. And so what you'll have is a double crochet, 3 front post double crochets, a double crochet, and 3 front post double crochets. And we'll do it one more time. We've done our double crochet there, so we're going to do a double front post double crochet, front post double crochet, front post double crochet, and then we're going to add a regular double crochet in this space between this stitch and the next one. And we're going to repeat this 3 front posts and a regular double crochet all the way around the hat, and then we'll join to the top of the chain 3 and chain 3. So now we've completed our 4. And I'm going to grab this other hat so you can take a look at it. And you can see the ridges. We've got 3 front posts, and then we have double crochets in between and 3 front posts. And that's the stitch and the look that we are working on. And I know at this point it looks a little bit flat, but don't worry about that. It will change. All right, so for row 5, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and now we're doing row 5. And so what we're going to do again is we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the same stitch as the chain 3. And this is how we're going to be increasing all the way around. Every place where we stitched a regular double crochet, we're going to be stitching 2 double crochets. And so we're going to stitch 1 front post double crochet in each of these 3 front post double crochets. So now we've established for the rest of the hat we're going to have 3 front post double crochets going around. So there's the 3 front post double crochets. And now we have this double crochet in between, and we're going to place 2, let me hook in there, 2 double crochets in that 1 double crochet. And this is the way our hat will increase. So now we're going to do 1 front post in each of the 3 front posts, double crochets. I'm still dealing with a little bit of yarn barf here. All right, so now we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in this 1 regular double crochet. All right. There's my yarn barf. All right, we won't worry about that right now. So as you can see, for row 5, we're doing 2 double crochets, 3 front posts, 2 double crochets, 3 front posts. We're not increasing anymore on our front posts. Where we're increasing is we're putting 2 double crochets in each place where we had 1 double crochet. So the pattern is 2 double crochets, 3 front post double crochets, 2 double crochets, 3 front post double crochets, all the way around for row 5. Now you go ahead and do that, and I'm going to get this yarn barf taken care of. Now we've finished row number 5, and just to recap, we continued on with our 3 front post double crochets, and then also with our 2 double crochets in between. And we're not going to be doing any more increasing at this point. For the next row 6 through row, let's see, 19 or 18 it looks like. So that's about, let's see, 12 more rows. All we're going to do is continue with our 3 front posts and our 2 double crochets all the way around until it's the length that we want it. Now, the pattern states go through row 18 for a beanie. If you want to make it a slouchy, you just add a few more rows on. And if you want to make the hat smaller, skip row R5 that we just did and don't do that increase row, and continue on just repeating the 3 and the 1 for the youth size. But for the adult size, you needed to do R5, and then row 6 through row 18, we're just going to continue to repeat 3 double front post double crochets and 2 double crochets on every single round. And be sure and chain 3 at the beginning of each round so you counts as your first double crochet. So I'll meet you back when I get my rows through 18 done. All right, so I finished up the amount of rows that I want, and one thing I noticed, I had to take out my row 6 because I noticed on the back side, for some reason, I only had 2 sets of front post double crochet. So I had to take out row 6 and redo that. And now I have 3 sets of front post double crochets between 2 rows of regular double crochets, fuzzball, all the way around. And here's where we're starting. So now we need to change our color and add our hat band at the bottom. The way we do that is we just put our hook through and grab our next color, and you can do this black or purple or whatever you want. I'm just choosing this pretty green because I like it. Now when you're adding our single crochet row, it can be a little bit maybe fussy is the right word to use, and finding where to put your stitches when you're working with front post and back post stitches. And the best way to follow it is to follow this line all the way around that you see the braid on top. And we're going to be putting single crochets in each stitch. So just go through both those loops and make your single crochet. Just like this. Go through, pull your loop through, and pull it through. And we're going to go all the way around the hat. Join to the first single crochet and chain 1. And we're going to do this. Let me grab this other one so that you can see. We're going to be doing this for 1, 2, 3 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. That's correct. And the thing is, you can do as many rows as you want. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 if you want to for your band. I like to do this many because it's a nice wide band and it kind of pulls the hat in a little bit and makes it sturdy. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of single crochet to form the hat band. So I have a lot of single crocheting to do. So as you can see, I have stitched 4 rows of single crochet to the bottom of my hat to form the hat band. So now all we need to do is add a stem and a curl to the top, like this one. And in order to do that, we're going to use our green yarn. And we're going to chain 8. So let's make our slip knot. And chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to turn and we're going to place our first single crochet in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2. And then we're going to place 1 single crochet in each of the chains. And that will give us a total of 7 single crochets. And this is the stem portion. All right, and now we're going to make the curl. And to do that, we need to chain 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now we're going to place our first double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. The first 3 counts as our first double crochet, and so we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then we're going to stitch 2 more double crochets in that same stitch. All right, and now we're going to place 3 double crochets in each chain till we reach back to the stem. And this is going to be our curl, and you can see already that the curl is starting to form. 3 double crochets in each chain. So we formed our stem and we've made the curl, and at the end of the last double crochet you need to chain 3 and join to that last chain, or I should say the first chain where we started our curl, and then we're going to tie off. There we go. And I just take those 2 and just sort of tie them together, because we're going to use those to sew our curl on our hat. Make sure my curl's laying right. And there's my stem. And we're going to use our needle. So we're going to thread the needle with that left over. I'll put my hand up inside here, and we're just going to go on one side of that first circle and just pull that through, and then we're going to do the same thing with the other tail, only we're going to go on the other side over here. Hand inside and pull that through. So here's our curl. And here's our stem. So we're going to go on the inside of the hat. And just so you see what the inside of the hat looks like, we're going to take these and just snug those down. A couple of knots so it doesn't come out. And then we're just going to cut those off, flip it back over. And there's our hat, stem, and curl. Now, this is actually the front, and this is the end of part 1 of our pumpkin hat. On part 2, I'm going to show you how to make the silly pumpkin face and the regular pumpkin face. So you can add them to this hat, or any hat that you want to. So this is our regular pumpkin.